What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Married to Medicine. This is season 11, episode 11. And when I tell you shenanigans, mess and shenanigans, and I was here for all of that chaos. I really was. And like it says on the thumbnail, I thought everybody was wrong. Phaedra was wrong, Shek was wrong, Apollo was wrong, Shireen was wrong, Heavenly was wrong, Sweettea was wrong, Gregory was wrong, Quad was wrong, King was wrong, everybody was wrong. But it was enjoyable chaos, okay? Enjoyable chaos. Like, when I tell you Sunday night was actually like fun to watch Potomac and Married to Medicine, I was living. So let's get into this review. So y'all know sometimes before we get into the review, we get a little spicy, just a little bit. Now, I was going to do a spicy corner, like a long one, but this video is already long enough. So I'm just going to make a separate video of all the new things that have come out about Letitia and Quad and, you know, King and Heavily and all of that stuff. I'm probably going to do a separate video. But I did do two the drama videos. Well, I'll put the links to both of the videos in the description box below. One video is about, you know, the reunion, Phaedra not going to the reunion, as well as the online antics of Sweettea and Heavenly. And then the second video that's also timestamped, y'all know I try my best to do so, is about, what's her name? Is about the beef that seems to be brewing between Letitia and Toya. So definitely check those videos out if you want to know my thoughts about all of that. So the next thing I want to talk about is, what's her name? Shireen and Apollo, girl, they getting a divorce. Came on this episode carrying on just for it to be reported that Shireen filed for divorce, basically citing that there was infidelity in their marriage and emotional and physical abuse. And I believe her. So, you know, get your divorce, girl, and go live your life and be free. And then I think the last thing I want to talk about is what I saw by Dorinda Deadly, because I would like to know your thoughts. How would you cast Married to Medicine season 12? Is it time for a revamp? Now, a lot of people said that they want a revamp. I don't. So I would say this. I would keep Simone, Quad, Heavenly, and Toya. Okay, and Contessa. I would keep Contessa as a friend of, I would keep Dr. Mimi. And it seems like the ladies really do like Dr. Mimi because I saw that she did an interview with Dr. Jackie. So I hope that means that she is staying. She seems really fun and like fresh. And then I would add like 3 or 2 new people, like, you know, and a doctor in a different profession, maybe like a cardiologist, a ophthalmologist, you know, somebody in a different field of study. Maybe we could add like a nurse or something like that. Just an anesthesiologist. Like there's more professions than like people being OBGYNs, you know? So that would be my cast. You know, I would keep Simone, Heavenly, Quad, Toya, keep Contessa as a friend of, and then add 2 or 3 new housewives. Now, please drop down in the comments below and share your thoughts with me about who y'all would like to add to the cast for season 12 if they do get a revamp. But I think that's all I got. So like I said, I'm probably going to do a separate video of the other things that I have, you know, saved on my phone to talk to y'all about. So be on the lookout for that. You can see I'm not in my regular location. I'm currently pet sitting, and my doggy nephew likes to get into the trash, rip up socks, and attack tissue. It's just, that's what he do, okay? And I needed to be in a spot where I could see him, okay? Because I already had to clean up the tissue roll. I don't know where he got that from, but I just found bits of brown, like ripped up tissue roll paper somewhere. And I don't have time. I don't have time to be cleaning up after him. So that's why we're here. So let's get into this episode. So it opens up and everyone is talking about what happened at the vibe check game. It's the aftermath of it. You got Cecil and Simone giggling And as Cecil unbuttons his shirt, walking like he's king, you have Scott and Contessa talking how Contessa's like, I was the only one that had on a swimsuit. Nobody else had on a swimsuit. And then Scott is like, no, Sweettea and Phaedra did. And they're talking about how, that's how Phaedra keep them young boys with the way that she looked in that swimsuit. And then Scott shades Shek being like, I know for a fact he playing Fortnite with Landon. I thought that was funny. I giggled at that. So then we move on from them and we get this cringy scene of Phaedra and Shek eating whipped cream over strawberries. When I tell you, Kandi and Phaedra, like when they try to be overtly sexual, always makes me cringe. That's why I always thought that they were friends, in my opinion. Because I'm just like, this facade of being like this sex kitten never gave that for y'all. It never ate for me. It just never felt believable for me. And this scene just felt so cringy where she was trying to act like she was like, she couldn't eat the strawberry. She was like, oh. I was like, fast forward. Fast forward. So then we land on this scene with Quad and King, where they're eating breakfast, talking about the night before. And Quad was like, girl, what happened? I said, girl, you know what happened. You got drunk. How you really feel came out. And you said, you know what? I'm sitting here by this fine chocolate man. I'm going to start putting my puss on the table. I'm letting them people know what's up. And that's what you did, girl. Let's not act like that's not what you were doing the night before. So King was like, I think it came to the fact when we talked about the whole like having sex 15 times a week. And Quad was like, I just don't understand how it got so bad. She was like, I honestly feel like he's jealous of this relationship. And I feel like he pretty much is using her as a placeholder. He was like, I also got a little uncomfortable with the way that he was yelling at Sweettea because it reminds me of when he was yelling at me. And I like the fact that Quad also said, why should I care about Gregory's feelings when you brought your ex-wife into my friend group, parading her around, expecting not to like care about my feelings? And honestly, she has a valid point about that. Even last season when I was reviewing season 10, I didn't really care about Quad's feelings. I was like, yeah, Gregory should be allowed to bring Sweettea around because he's still friends with the group. But he could have did that off the show. He could have still maintain his friendship with the women, but not been on this show. And I know a lot of people like to bring up Heavenly and the other ladies got her on this show. They did not get her on the show. They told her, girl, you should audition. And production basically said, yeah, girl, we want you on this show, which is fine and cool. But at the end of the day, you have to say yes or no to this opportunity. And she said yes. So it is kind of weird if we're going to keep it a stack, if we're going to keep it a buck. And so I don't think Quad is wrong to say, like, I'm not coddling his feelings. None of y'all coddled mine. And why should I care about his? She shouldn't. She shouldn't have to. So we move over from them and we get this scene of, what's it called? Of Sweettea and Gregory, where they're in the bedroom talking about what happened. He ends up saying that he doesn't want the negativity that was really pissing him off was Quad talking about, I left you, and he didn't like the fact that she was acting all superior and all of that stuff. But yet last season, everyone was trying to act like Sweettea was an upgrade from Quad, and you had no problems with that. So why can't she sit on her high horse feeling all happy and mighty? And to be honest, she did leave you. You was the one begging to still be with her. She ain't want to be with you no more. And you are actually, I'll talk about that. Well, no, let's talk about that now. I legit feel like Greg is resentful because me and my friend were talking about this yesterday because she has just started watching Married to Medicine this season and she doesn't like Gregory and she doesn't like Sweettea. But she was just like, I don't think he still likes her or is in love with Quad. She was like, it's some type of feeling there. And I was like, I think it's resentment. I think he resents the fact that Quad said, you know what, I'm leaving you. And she ended up leaving him and her life got better after she left him. Because seeing all the old clips that are resurfacing of their relationship, it definitely gives that Gregory always thought he had the upper hand in the relationship because he was older than Quad and he had more money than Quad. And I think Gregory deals with women with this lens of like, as long as I have the money and I'm older than them, they're going to stay with me. And that's not the case. She left. And she was fine with leaving. And that bothers him that she left and she's healing and surviving and thriving without him. You know what I'm saying? But they're sitting there and he apologizes to Sweettea, but he says he doesn't apologize for like it was a half-ass apology and it wasn't a sincere apology. And I just feel like, as much as I don't really see it for Sweettea and I don't like her, because me and my friend also figured out why we don't like her. It's because Sweettea is goofy and she's gullible. And it's like, I don't understand how you are allowing this geriatric bald headed man to play in your face like this. When I know for a fact, if you really wanted to have this age gap relationship, you could have been with a man, Gregory's same age, that probably would respect you, love you, and cater to you in the way that you probably should be, than steady being with a man who's cheap, who's grumpy all the time, and who belittles you. Like, I can't stand when women settle. I can't. And that's what it feels like for her. That, and I honestly don't think they're going to be together that long, because I feel like eventually she's going to have to like start listening to the way that man speaks to her, because he talks down to her. He really does. And seeing old clips that, like I said, that are resurfacing of Quad and Gregory's relationship, the way he used to speak to Quad, he speaks to her like even worse, because Quad was quick and used to check Gregory. Sweettea don't be checking him, and I wish she would. Because last episode at the vibe check game, when they were doing like how many days did it take for y'all to actually become intimate with each other, I think she said like 30 or 60. He might have put the same thing, but he basically said in the confessional, I could have got her in 15 dates if I was trying. So he, one, basically is alluding that he feels like you would have been easy if he was actually trying, and two, he's like, he never really put in effort to really get you the way you think you should have got or whatever. And I said, girl, sad. And then now we're sitting here where he's basically telling you that you lack maturity and that you're not wise. He's like, here I am expecting you to be a wise elder. And Sweettea is basically saying like, I'm not going to let somebody disrespect me and I'm not coming back at them. I don't think that's an issue. If you get disrespected, girl, defend yourself. But why are you not checking him? You can check everybody else and have these psychoanalyzations about everyone else, but you can't analyze the man that's in front of you that basically is saying that you're stupid and you're immature. Because what's the difference between what's the opposite of being wise? Stupid, gullible, dumb. What's the opposite of maturity? Immaturity. When we get confirmation that he told Quad to shut the F up, he was yelling at you saying you talk too effing much, but he showed his whole last episode, but you lack wisdom and you lack maturity. And it's the man you want to build up, build a baby, have a baby with. Crazy work, bro. Crazy work. So he ends up saying that he doesn't want it to be negative anymore, and that hopefully everybody can leave what happened at the vibe check in the past and they move on. So then we have this scene of Toya, Steven, Mimi, and Eugene going out to get lunch together. Eugene is like, well, we don't really know y'all, so we want to get to know y'all. I really like this scene. We know that Steven was a professional athlete. He was a football player, but he played for the Browns, and he grew up in the inner city of Cleveland. His mom was a single mom. He has it was three of him. Like, I guess in the picture it looks like he has two sisters and himself. And he was like, I used football to get out the hood. So, a common story, but a nice story. We see the couples walk up. We find out that Mimi can't ride a bike. She's not really good at physical sports, but she looks like she was a majorette dancer in college. She looked cute. And also a cheerleader. And Mimi expresses like, yeah, girl, I'm not good at certain things. So while they're sitting at the table, they're all ordering drinks and getting margaritas. And pretty much Toya orders, I think they all said they want a Patron. Or maybe Toya said she wanted Patron in her margarita. Either way, they were like, so who was Toya the night before? And Toya was like, I was calm, Toya. And Eugene said, yes, she was calm, Toya. And then they do B-real footage of Toya going off on Eugene when they used to go on them couple trip. Their couple trip, all couple trips always end in disaster. They really did. And she was like, well, all I said was, I'm uncomfortable. Dr. Gregory's uncomfortable. And Steven and Mimi are like, girl, that was not your place. But okay, girl. You were saying uncomfortable. And Toya's in her confessional being like, why am I, getting labeled as that way? Everybody was uncomfortable. I was just saying the obvious, stating the obvious. Toya was just like, girl, that's just me. And it really is. Toya can stir a pot like nobody else on this show. We be thinking it's Heavenly. Now, Heavenly does produce scenes, but when I tell you Toya will stir the pot. Just stir it, okay? Get it nice and mixed together to kick up some mess. Scene we get get is with Simone, Heavenly, and Jackie. In this scene, they are questioning Simone about how she felt about what happened at the vibe check. Simone is pretty much like, girl, it was uncomfortable, and clearly, Quad and Gregory got unresolved issues. Heavenly said she thought it was funny. Now, I did laugh when Simone was like, y'all really want to talk about that? And Jackie said, no, Simone, we want to talk about reproduction. That tickled me. That tickled me. And I don't even fault Heavenly for saying that she thought it was funny, because I'm going to be honest, the way I was laughing when I did that review, I would have been laughing as all of this was going on. When things are awkward or uncomfortable for me, I get a giggle out of it sometimes. Or I just start to like accept the chaos and just roll with it and laugh at the stupidity. And so I would have thought it was funny after a while too. So, this is when Heavenly drops it on Jackie that Apollo's coming. Jackie look at Simone, she look at Heavenly, and then she just puts her hand on her head like, girl, what? What do you mean he's coming? And she's like, he's coming. And so Jackie is like, does Phaedra know? And Heavenly's like, yeah, Phaedra knows. So they flash back to when Heavenly told Phaedra on FaceTime that he was coming. And Phaedra ends up saying, oh, yeah, we're in a good place. Let it be a surprise. To me, if Phaedra didn't outright say, no, girl, I did not want him to come, then Heavenly gets the okay. I know people want Heavenly to be the villain so bad, and at times she really is a legitimate villain of this show. But in this moment, I don't fault her. I fault Phaedra. They wouldn't have a need to reach out to Apollo if you wouldn't have brought Apollo to the reunion last season. It made no sense that you brought Apollo to the reunion last season, but you did that because Phaedra knew her spot was kind of in jeopardy. Phaedra did not deliver the way she thought she was on last season of Married to Medicine, because she keeps saying that she revived the show, but if you actually go look at the ratings, they actually dropped after they got rid of Crawd because people were that mad. You didn't revive nothing. You didn't revive anything. So I just feel like she knew she didn't really deliver on being like, Miss Phaedra Parks. And she had to do something in order to get the people interested in her. So she brought Apollo to the show. But in doing so, you pretty much let it be known to production, it's okay if Apollo films with this cast because I brought him to the reunion and we're in a good place. If she would have never brought him to the reunion, there would be no reason for him to be around in this group. I mean, is there a reason for him to be around now? No, not really. But you brought him to the group. And if I'm a producer and I knew we can make more like salacious TV, yeah, I'm bringing Apollo. So to me, that's her fault. So they're like, okay, girl. And you see Jackie and Simone looking at each other. Whenever something goes bad, they're just going to be like, Phaedra knew. Okay, and they said it in unison, which I thought was cute. Then you have Jackie in her confessional. Sometimes you just want to stick it to your ex. And then you have Simone being like, this is the worst idea Heavenly has ever had. Like, this makes no sense. So we then see everyone pile into the sprinters. Quad and King are in a car by themselves. And King is like, I don't think anybody's going to bring up what happened last night. And Quad was like, no, I hope they don't, but be prepared for whatever. In the other car, you see Contessa telling Gregory and Sweettea, I don't think there's going to be any drama. I don't think anybody wants to really rehash what happened last night. I think, we just let it go. What happened in the past happened in the past. So they get to the boat. Everyone kind of is like, girl, this is what we getting on, because, when they were at Hilton Head, they were on a yacht. But Simone was like, y'all complained about that yacht, so this is all you get. And I don't fault Simone. It was just a big pontoon boat that could fit like maybe 30 people, a party boat, pretty much, a tequila boat. I say, girl, y'all are getting to your destination to be on a beach and get drunk. Let's not do this. Let's not do this. So everyone's just sitting around. And then next thing you know, we see Heavenly on the phone being like, hey, are y'all here? Are you like, you here yet? And he was like, nah, like we here, we about to be here. So next thing you know, we see Natalie Nunn and Apollo pull up, and you got Quad being like, Apollo and Shireen, oh, come through. Who invited them? And everyone's like, girl, what? You got Phaedra scrunched up face like, because I think she knew Apollo was coming, but she didn't know about Shireen. And like Heavenly said on one of her lives, is that Apollo found out that Shek and Phaedra were down there in Florida. And so he was like, girl, y'all not about to catch me slipping. I'm going to bring my wife. Now, as messy as that is, I get why he did what he did. I don't think Phaedra owes Apollo anything, so I'm not even too like, oh, she shouldn't have brought Shek there. But I just feel like, girl, this is messy, and you knew it was going to be messy, Phaedra. And I feel like her face scrunched up because she didn't think he was going to come, and it kind of like made it be like, oh, so you really want to play with me like that type of energy. So, like I said, she looked like Natalie's nun. She really do. Shireen looked like Natalie nun. I said, ooh, Shireen, that man taking you through it. He taking you all the way through it. Because when they did the flashbacks to 2016, I said, girl, you was not that thick or bad built. That man is taking you through it. So I think Jackie ends up saying, what the hell to Curtis? And Curtis just laughs like, this is some shenanigans. So they get on the boat. You got Heavenly being in her confessional being like, he told me he wasn't bringing Shireen. And they show a flashback to when Heavenly asks him, are you bringing Shireen? And he's like, no, Shireen's not coming. So why are we again mad at Heavenly? Because if he lied and said he wasn't bringing her and then brings her, how is that her fault? So then Phaedra is like, that is my ex-husband's mistress when he was cheating on me when I was pregnant. So they show a flashback to 2016 with Miss Shireen, and she basically said, well, wifey wasn't there, so I stepped in. I said, okay, proud in your hold'em and in your side chick ways. Okay, Miss Shireen. She says it's unsettling and it's creepy. So they flash back to the reunion when Andy was like, do you have a relationship with Shireen? And she was like, no, I don't. Which I think is kind of stupid. And the reason why I say that is if Shireen and Apollo are married and your boys were around Apollo, I think you should get to know Shireen. I'm not saying she got to be besties with that lady, but I do think you should get to know her to a certain extent. Cause like I wouldn't, if I had kids, I would not want my husband's wife around my kids if I didn't know how that lady moved. But I guess Phaedra is saying I already know how she moved because she was cheating with my husband during that time, I guess. So they on the boat. Phaedra ends up saying in her confessional, she don't really got nothing to say to the linebacker woman. She said the big back linebacker, I don't have nothing to say to her. I said, oh, okay. So they're on the yacht. You got Sweettea said, oh, great, another bitter ex. And see, this is why I don't give that lady grace. Because she be talking slick. She be saying slick shit in her confessionals on her YouTube channel when she does interviews with people. And then when Quad says something back or when Heavenly says something to her, all of a sudden, oh, they're wrong and they're bullying her. Y'all infantilize that lady and she's not a child. Like if she gonna run her mouth, let them run their mouths too. Because I'm like, why is Quad bitter? Why is your husband not bitter who was cussing you out the night before and telling you to, babe, calm down, and pretty much ghosted you, was hanging up the phone on you, not a bitter ex? Why is that? But okay. So we see Shek dap up Apollo and hug Shireen. And the way Shireen was hugging Shek, I said, girl, have you and Shek dibbled and dabbled? Because that hug was given very much, we dibbled and dabbled a little bit. Because I'm not, full body arm hugging my man's friends like that. She was like, what are you doing here? He's like, it's a long story. That's how you know Shek already knew he was wrong. He already knew, oh, this is about to be a night, a day. So then, like I said, Apollo and him dap each other up. So then Heavenly is like, oh my gosh, Shek knows Shireen and Apollo. What is this? So you got Cecil and Simone being like, yo, it's a mess. And I think Simone says it look like Shek gets around. More power to him. I said, this is a mess. So then we see this scene of Curtis basically saying they need to put some nets around this boat because somebody about to get pushed off. So they cheers because the boat is pulling off from the dock. And Shek says, another goal. He said, cheers to new friendships, new all of this stuff, and a goal for all of us to have sex 15 times a week. I said, oh, here we go. So then in the corner, you see Shireen, Heavenly, Damon, Apollo, and Quad talking, where pretty much we find out that Shek really is cool with Apollo. Like, they friends like that. Like, it's not no surface level friendship. He don't know him from the club. They actually know each other because he was like, that's my boy. That's messed up. And he was like, we've had family dinners together. I said, ooh. Ooh. But Apollo's like, yeah, and this is how I know. This is how I know she knew, like, Phaedra knows about that man, because Apollo said, well, I told Phaedra, like, I don't think you should get, like, engrossed in him because that's my friend. And Phaedra kept saying, like, she didn't know him like that and they was just talking. It wasn't nothing too deep, but this is all BS. So I don't feel bad for Phaedra. Like, you knew what you was doing, which I don't fault her for it. You know, you cheated on me while I'm pregnant. It is what it is. But I feel like it's not fair to try to make Heavenly such a villain when it's like, girl, you wanted to be messy. Like, everybody, like I said at the beginning, everybody's hands are dirty because everybody had ulterior motives. Like, nobody was on this trip for peace. Everybody wanted to be messy and dirty. So Apollo's like, this is BS. We see Quad in her own confessional being like, oh, this is some days of our lives type of stuff. You know, Shireen's like, no, we're close. We're close. Oh my gosh, we're real close. So then Heavenly ends up saying, I didn't know that y'all knew him like that when I invited y'all. Like, my bad like that. You know what I'm saying? So they end up asking, we on the other side of the boat, you see Phaedra sitting on Shaq's lap, and then Scott and Contessa talking, and he's like, you know, that stuff that went down by the pool was a lot, like, nobody prepared me for that. And so that's when Sweettea ends up saying, you know, these bees is crazy on this boat. She said, okay, all of us are a little bit of crazy, because your ex is sitting over there, you know, it's a cast full of exes. That's just what it is. So they all kind of just laughed it off, and they were like, yeah, this is an unpredictable type of group. So, you know, on the boat, having a good time, everyone's laughing and giggling. Jackie was like, oh, this has been a fun trip. And then they finally get to the sandbars. But before they get there, Scott ends up telling Simone that King and Sweettea took shots and basically said, yo, this ain't our fight. It's with them. You know, we cool, like, we ain't got no beef. So they finally get to the sandbars. You know, Simone got to do her speech about being a doctor and all of this stuff. I said, girl, get off the boat and get on the sand barge. Get on the sand barge. So they all get off the boat, and everyone is just excited. Toya drinking vodka fell on herself. She was like, this always happens when I drink vodka. And they said they ready to have a good time. To the sandbar. And I actually Googled why they kept calling it a sandbar instead of an island, because I was like, why not just call it an island? So this is what I found from Key West Sandbar Tour. And mind you, they in Key West. So it says this: they are a narrow strip of sand, either connected to the shore or offshore, often formed due to deposits of sand by the ocean waves and currents. These captivating ridges of sand can vary in size and shape, with some becoming large enough to be called a barrier island. So I guess if it's called a sandbar, it's not big enough to be an island. So I was like, okay, cool. Learning something new every day, okay? So they get to the sandbar and everyone is excited. Everyone's having a good time. We see the ladies lounging in the pool, not the pool, in the ocean, you know, just enjoying themselves. We also see the men all up on the sandbar. So Steven is trying to get acquainted with Apollo because he's like, I don't know Apollo. So he ends up being like, well, how are you, like, connected to this group? And Apollo says everybody's name except the name that he should have said, which was Phaedra. I said, sir, he said Damon, Heavenly, King. I said, Phaedra. Just say Phaedra. And even Curtis was like, bro, you don't have to tell us that you are married or were married to Phaedra. At the end of the day, there's no secrets on this sandbar. I said, come on, Curtis, even though you get on my nerves, moly mo. So it continues where basically the guys end up asking Steven, well, like, what NFL teams did you play for? And he ends up saying, like, I think 3 other teams that he played for. So they're like, oh, crap. So I think King was like, crap, we should have brought the football so we could play a couple of rounds. And then somebody said, you want to go 40 with me? So I was thinking, like, they talking about, like, 40 yards, but maybe they were talking about doing 40 push-ups, because I didn't understand how Gregory started doing push-ups, because at first I thought they were talking about, like, sprinting across the sandbar, because I just, like, 40-yard dash or something I can think about. But that's not, I don't think that's what they were referring to. So then someone said, you know, when the testosterone get into this group, things get crazy. So next thing you know, Curtis, Cecil, and Eugene was like, we not doing that. Especially Eugene. Eugene said, what happened to good conversation? Like, why y'all want to have a pissing contest? Because I'm not doing that. And I'm with Eugene. The only way I want to, what's it called? sweat on a vacation is if I am getting out of the pool to go to the bar, or going, like, getting out of the ocean to go get me a drink that I brought with me to take to the beach, or go to the beach, like go to the bar that's on the beach. Like, I'm not running, I'm not doing push-ups, I'm not doing none of that. It's a vacation for a reason. I'm not doing all of that. You know what I mean? So Eugene is like over it. Then Gregory ends up saying, you think I'm gonna do push-ups in front of Apollo? Because mind you, Apollo doesn't have on a shirt. You got King with his shirt all open, and so is Steven. I said, them the only three men that should have been doing push-ups and doing 40-yard dashes. Like, nobody else really took into account of like actually doing any physical things other than Gregory. So Gregory gets on the ground. It's like, Letitia. And everyone's like, why is he saying her name? He's making it weird. You're making it weird, Gregory. So Eugene is mocking Gregory in the confessional, being like, Letitia. And then so is Steven, where he's like, whatever you got to do, like, kudos to you for doing 25 push-ups, but next time, let's not make it weird. And I'm like, thank you. And see, this is where I was like, Gregory is going to be the problem. This is how all of this is going to get kicked off, because why did you feel the need to posture in front of this group like this? Nobody else was willing to do all of that. You already have a position in this group, and it kind of feels like he felt like his position in this group was in jeopardy because King was here. Because I'm like, or Apollo being there. I just didn't understand it, because you got the men that are around your age, Cecil, Damon, I think Scott is around their age too, maybe in like his early or late 40s. No, he might be in his early or late 40s or mid 40s. And then you got Curtis. None of them felt the need to do all of that. You got Eugene, who's younger than you, who's 46, that was like, I'm not doing none of that. And he kept it cute, sat there drinking his drink and smoking on his cigar. The three men that people wanted to see do it didn't do it. So why did you feel the need to do that? Which makes me feel like Gregory is insecure in some way, because why did you feel the need to, and then you made it weird. Letitia, like, sir. So then Eugene decides to do like somewhat, like not a toast, but commend King for being a part of the group and meshing well with the group. And you could tell that Gregory didn't appreciate that, because his face was like, and so then King ends up saying, well, I appreciate all of the fellas being receptive to me being in the group. I appreciate how y'all have been treating me. So then Gregory ends up saying, like, I ain't really been that friendly towards you, but it is a bit awkward being around you and my ex. Like, no disrespect. Like, I ain't mean no disrespect the night before, but I had a problem with her talking about my relationship. I didn't appreciate it. So then they flash back to the whole situation that went down at the vibe check, him being like, be good. Okay. And so King ends up being like, you guys have a pass. He should have kept it there. Like that, when King says you guys have a pass, to me, that didn't seem like he wanted to fight. He just is acknowledging like, yeah, I understand y'all have a pass, and there's emotion still there. So I feel like Gregory just should have left it there. But then he decides to say, all I said is like, she talked too effing much. And everyone's like, why would you say that? And I feel like he said that because he thought the guys were going to co-sign what he was saying. But everyone was looking at him like, you ain't really need to say that. Like, Scott just put his hand down. Like, Damon is like, dude. And then you have Cecil and Eugene looking at him like, why would you say that? And now in the confessionals, you got Eugene being like, here we go. Then you have Curtis being like, come on, man, like that, you ain't have to say none of that. And so he ends up saying, Gregory ends up saying, like, I know how she get when she got too much drink in her. And King is like, you told her to shut the F up last night? And Gregory's like, yeah. And King was like, I ain't hear that last night. So that confirms what Heavenly was saying on her YouTube channel, where she said that Dr. Gregory was saying like, shut the F up, and they cut all of that stuff out. And Toya was the one that said he was talking to Quad when he was telling Quad to shut the F up. And Heavenly thought that, no, he was talking to Sweettea, but Gregory is confirming like, no, I was telling her to shut the F up. I said, bro. So all the men are looking at Gregory like, you was doing so good. So then Scott is like, y'all just need to let the sun like set on what happened last night. And King's like, no, we don't. Not after I got this new information that I ain't know about. And so they end up showing a flashback where Gregory ends up saying to Quad when they were doing a vibe check, you got a big effing mouth. So then Cecil's in his confessional saying that Quad ain't the only one with a big effing mouth. Gregory got one too. And I said, yes, he does, because what was the need for you to tell him that? You did that because you wanted to sun him in front of the group and you thought they was going to ride for you, and they did not. Because they were all looking at you like, why would you say that? Like, why would you say that? So now King is like, I didn't know you said that last night, and I think you definitely owe her an apology. So then Gregory is like, well, both parties were in the wrong. So if you are admitting that you were wrong for your behavior the night before, and you feel like she was wrong for hers, then that means you can give her an apology and she can apologize back to you. It's that simple. But you're immature and you don't want to do that. So they're all just kind of looking like, bro, this didn't have to be like that. So then Eugene is trying to like mediate the conversation, being like, I think, you know, what am I, he said, Lord, what am I trying to say? He's like, you know, I'm uncomfortable just sitting here, but I'm trying to help mediate the conversation. So then he look at Cecil like, Cecil, say something, Cecil. So then Cecil ends up being like, I don't know what Quad shared with you, King, but it definitely seems like she was a little emotional that night. And King said, yeah, because it's the trauma. Like, of course she's going to react to it. So then Gregory, who was sitting down away from King, decides to get up and walk towards him. And to me, if that was me, I would have took that as, oh, you trying to play in my face. Like you trying to show me that you the big dog in town. Because what was the need for you to come up and get in his face at that moment? Like you could have just stayed seated in your chair. Like you was trying to sun him in front of the table. So he ends up being like, I promise you, you know, you could ask me these guys anything. Like, if I knew you, it wouldn't have went down like that the night before. I would have just came to you like that. But, you know, I like the fact that you standing up for your girl. And King was like, no, he ends up saying, I hope that you will stand up for your girl. And King's like, yeah, I'm going to stand up. So then I think Gregory's like, okay, so, well, we good. And King is like, yeah, we good. But we not good. We not good. So then King says in his confessional with Quad, I think for this to all be smoothed over, he owed Quad an apology. And I agree, because you admitted that both parties played a part into how it got rowdy the night before. And I feel like if you apologize, Quad would then need to apologize too, because she did the most last episode. But I don't like that. The guys for a minute. And we see Shaq, like, you know, manly man picking up Phaedra, you know, and the rest of the women are in the ocean. Shireen got an attitude. And I'm like, girl, why do you have an attitude? Just be glad you here and getting camera time. Like, why are you all bent up out of shape, Miss Natalie Nunn? Calm down. And so they start asking Shireen questions. Well, no, Shireen starts spilling tea on Shaq because she was mad that they kept saying, oh, look at Phaedra and her man. And she was like, why do y'all keep saying that? Like, Shaq is for the streets. And I'm like, well, girl, hush. Because you were for the streets as well. Because if it is true that, like, you was Apollo's mistress while Phaedra was pregnant, you definitely are for the streets, especially the way that you was behaving. Uprooted your whole life and your child's life just to follow a man in prison, girl. You don't need to be on this show. You need to be on Love After Lockup. That's where you could have had your own, you know, a break. You could have been famous off of that, but no, ma'am. So she is spilling all of Shaq's tea. Simone is like, girl, she just telling all the business, all right? So then I guess Shaq heard his name because he comes over there, and they're like asking him all these types of questions. It's Miss Toya, because Toya's going to always ask the burning questions. Was like, do you know Shireen? And he was like, yeah, I know Shireen. And she's like, well, did you spend holidays and stuff with her family? And he was like, why are you asking me so many questions, Toya? And Toya's like, well, we're trying to get to know you. Because at first he was like, this is none of y'all business. But I was like, well, you did kind of make it their business when you decided to click up with Phaedra and be on this show. Okay? So now you have Toya and Contessa in their confessional being like, bro, this is weird. This is weird. Okay, and I don't get what's going on. So now Phaedra is in her feelings because she feels like the women should be on her side, and that's why she called them those types of bitches. But when I tell you, when Phaedra said that, I said, girl, shut up. Because you were okay with these types of bitches when they did the same thing to Quad last season. And it's crazy to me that people are so angry at Heavenly on the behalf of Phaedra, but weren't mad at Heavenly on the behalf of Quad last season. And what happened, it was happening to Phaedra is what happened to Quad, and it's like a similar situation. But because people like Phaedra, it's not okay. But because people don't like Quad, that was okay. Like I say this time and time again, and I'm gonna continue to say this. And shouts out to the diva because she's the one that I learned this from, where she was like, people will okay mistreatment of women based off of not liking them. And she's right, because I was like that when it came to Kenya. Kenya could do nothing right in my eyes when I was younger watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. As I've gotten older and going back and rewatched the seasons, I was like, yo, the stuff that they did to Kenya, it was not right. So I'm going to sit here today and say, I don't have no sympathy for Phaedra because you were right along with them when they did it to Quad. So why should they care about your feelings just like you didn't care about Quad's? You were okay with them icing her out last season. You were fine with it. You were fine with Sweettea being around. Remember, you're the one that brought Quad to Sweettea's bachelorette party, which I don't understand why Sweettea is always harping about that with Quad, but never checking Phaedra for being the one that brought her to the bachelorette party. Okay, girl. So she's in her feelings. So then Apollo pulls up, and Apollo basically says he feels like what Phaedra and Shek are doing is mad sneaky. And I'm like, does it matter? It doesn't matter. You cheated on her. Whatever she does is what she does, bro. Who cares? So then Heavenly is like, I definitely think that Phaedra knew that Shek knew Apollo, and that's just what it is. So while all of this is going on, I don't know if I don't know if Heavenly was recording them arguing or if she just had her phone up, but that phone was perched like this. I said, girl, okay. So then Phaedra and Apollo start arguing back and forth because Shek and Apollo start arguing back and forth because Phaedra's like, what do you care, Apollo, we're not married. So then Phaedra's like, no, so then Shireen jumps in talking about Faye, Miss Faye this. And then a lot of people thought that Phaedra said this to Shireen where she was like, no one's talking to you, you bad built bitch. But it felt like she said that when she walked away. Because I feel like Shireen and her would have gotten more of an argument. Maybe she said it towards her, because I did see online that they said Shireen and Phaedra got into it like real bad, and maybe they cut that out. But I'm like, I feel like she would have reacted to that. But either way, Shireen, why are you speaking? Hush. Girl, don't you got an episode of Baddies to film? Baddies, shot o'clock. Like, girl, shush. And Apollo, you have no right to be upset. You really don't. Like, is it messed up that your friend is messing with your ex-wife? Yeah, but you cheated on her. It is what it is, sir. It is what it is. So then Shek ends up pulling Phaedra away. Next thing you know, things go left very quickly. And this situation that happened between Sweettea and Heavenly was Heavenly's fault. Like, girl, you did not have to come out the side of your neck at that lady that quickly. And I'm saying, see, this is how I know I can be fair to people. Because even though I don't like Sweettea, she ain't deserve all of that. Because I was like, girl, she just asking a question. I know you don't like the lady. And granted, I don't think Sweettea should be asking you anything. But you could have just simply ignored her. It didn't need to be all of that. It really didn't. So Sweettea ends up asking Shireen, who invited you guys? And Shireen is like, well, Dr. Heavenly invited me. So then Letitia ends up asking Heavenly, why did you do that? So Heavenly said, it's none of your effing business. Don't ask me. SHIT. So then you see, like, so then Letitia is like, girl, what? And so she was like, don't talk to me like that. So Heavenly was like, don't ask me no mother effing questions. So then Sweettea said, girl, please watch who you talking to. And I said, girl. So then Sweettea says, this is my business in her confessional, because she's like, if the roles were reversed and someone did this to Jackie, Heavenly would be asking the same thing. And she's not wrong about that. She's not wrong. So then next thing you know, Sweettea ends up saying, no, you shut the F up. Who you talking to? BITCH to Heavenly. So then everyone's like, girl, like everyone's like, it's about to get nasty. So then Heavenly said, watch who you talking to, you bum boot mouth BITCH. I said, I said, oh my God, whoa, why we have to go there? Why do we have to go there? So then Sweettea says, girl, please, you razor back, big bag, BITCH. I said, calm down. Calm down. Please calm down. And that struck a nerve with Heavenly because Heavenly was on her YouTube channel going off at the fact that Sweettea called her a razor big bag bitch. And mind you, the read didn't land for me because I'm like, Sweettea, Heavenly's body is better than yours, and she's older than you. Like I said, girl, first of all, that swimsuit is not supporting the girls. And I know they make swimsuits with bras in them. You needed something to strap them puppies in if you was about to get active on that stage because a nipple was about to come out. And I said, girl, so they start to arguing. Sweettea kind of walks towards Heavenly. And it's like, girl, shut the F, like going off. So that Heavenly tries to get up. She falls back in the ocean. I said the chaos. So then Apollo is trying to tell, Sweettea, girl, kind of like chill out. Shireen is like, oh, girl. Everyone's like, even Quad is like, Sweettea, chill. So then, like I said, Heavenly falls into the water. Simone is me. Simone is like, it's time to get out the water. It is time to get out the water. So then Steven, where the men are at, is like, whoa, what's going on over there? And then you hear him say, oh, I don't play about that when he talking about Mimi, because Mimi was trying to like help break everything up. So then you see Quad being like, Sweettea, listen to your husband. Sweettea ends up saying, don't touch me or something like that. So then everybody runs over to the ocean now, trying to like separate the girls. Steven checking on his wife. He like, girl, you good? She's like, girl, I'm good. Ain't nothing happened to me. And then Contessa's like, cause Sky's like, you good? And she's like, yeah, I was just trying to get out the water before this $3,000 camera get messed up. I said, this is shenanigans. And then she ends up saying, because that ends up being, I'm just glad it wasn't me. I'm just so glad it wasn't me. So then all of a sudden, Gregory like bear hugs Sweettea and was like, listen to me. And then you hear Quad be like, Sweettea, listen to your husband. So then Heavenly was like, don't you ever talk to me. You blankety blank to blank to blank. I said, oh my God. Y'all really getting active in the ocean. I said, everybody needs to calm down, please. Ooh, I'm not gonna lie. Heavenly calling that lady a boot bump. I think, let me see it again. Let me see. Hold up. Where's that? She said, you bum boot mouth bitch. I'm gonna have to use that on somebody if they get me pissed. I just like, but Heavenly was wrong because there was no need for it to get that hostile. It was no need for that. So then Sweettea ends up saying her confessional with Gregory was like, Heavenly needs to get checked. I don't even know why she does the thing that she does. So then you have Gregory like bear hugging her, being like, this too much, let it go. And you hear Sweettea telling him, let me go. And I'm like, yeah, let her go. I don't think she about to do anything. Like you got her away from the group. Let her go. So then there seemed to be like something that happened between Quad and Toya, where I think Toya was trying to calm Quad down or something. I don't know, but it was too much going on. It was so much going on, girl. And so she ends up being like, I'm good. I'm great. Like Sweettea is like, you can let me go. And he will not let her go. Cecil checking on Simone, being like, you good? And then Simone said something like, Sweettea is out of control. And a lot of people were pissed about her saying that because they feel like it's one-sided. But I feel like with the way that they keep editing things out, there is something happening with Sweettea that we don't know about. Notice like when it comes to editing and when there's arguments, they always chop it up, and I'm like, something else has to be happening. And ever since the way that Portia got exposed after that good edit when I was reviewing Portia Family Matters, I be looking at things now because I was like, why is, because I didn't understand why Gregory was like, if you love me, you'll calm down, because she seemed like she was calm. So I'm like, was she really about to fight Heavenly? Like, did it really get that serious? Did it really get that active? Like, what's going on? I thought King was wrong because as Gregory is trying to calm Sweettea down, King walks over to them and Sweettea's like, why, why are you over here? And he's like, yo, no, just go, Sweettea, go over there. Let me talk to Gregory. So they walk over to the side. King basically feels like Gregory is trying to posture in front of the rest of the men. So he's like, if I can talk to him one-on-one, then we should be fine. My thing about it was this situation did not call for y'all to have a conversation. Like, I get it. Like, I do think they should have talked to each other more, but not after all of that chaos. That energy was on that sandbar. Somebody was going to get hit. So there was no need for you to do all of this. So he goes and talks to Gregory. And he basically ends up saying, like, I'm going to let go what happened the night before, but don't ever speak to Quad like that ever again. And he was like, you don't need to talk to her. Like, if you got an issue with her, come to me. And so Gregory was like, so she could say whatever, like, tell her don't talk to me. And so what's it called? King is like, she could say whatever she wants. And he was like, what sense does that make? You're saying that she could say whatever she wants to me, but I can't say anything back. Now, I do agree with Gregory with that. Like, girl, if you gonna come out the side of your neck crazy to me, just be prepared for me to come out the side of my neck crazy to you. That's just what it is. I'm male, female, any way you identify. You think you can't get checked by me? You are sorely mistaken, okay? So then King is like, I don't want you talking to her. Now, where I do see people making valid points where it's like, Gregory was mad at Damon for what Heavenly said online, which he had every right to be mad at her because she crossed the line by calling him, what he called him. But he never went and talked to Heavenly, which you should have had a conversation with Heavenly. Maybe Damon should have been there, but you went to Damon because you wanted Damon to check his wife. Why can't King tell you, girl, don't come to me, don't go to Quad, come to me and I'll check her? So you contradicted yourself right there, Gregory. So they started talking. So then you see Sweettea and Phaedra over to the side, and she's like, oh, it's okay, because Sweettea is looking because she think things about to go south. So then next thing you know, Gregory said something about, like, I want you to, like, sweep her off her feet. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to do that, but you don't need to talk to my girl. And he was like, listen, bro, I ain't trying to fight you. Like, I'm not going to do all these idle and veiled threats with you. And King is like, I'm not threatening you. I'm just letting you know what's good. So then you see Gregory pull out his hands like this saying, sweep her. No, that's when he said, sweep her off her feet as you can. Like, just do it. Like, but I was like, why is your hands that way, bro? Like, y'all are in a heated discussion this close to each other. Y'all can smell each other's breath. Keep your hands to yourself. And you see the way King had his hands like this. Any man I see do that, especially as big as King, I'd be scared of. Cause when men be that calm like this, that mean they fight. Like, that means they fight and they got no problems. Like, it's whatever. Cause Gregory was doing all of that. Sweep her off her feet. Sweep her off her feet. Why do you need to tell this man to sweep your ex-wife off her feet? Like, why do you feel the need to do that? So then Cecil comes up, and so does Shek, and tries to separate them. And next thing you know, that's when Gregory started to get in his feelings, being like, yeah, and starts running off in his mouth. So you were in his face talking about sweep her off her feet, and then the moment Shek and Cecil come up, all of a sudden you getting active and aggressive. You ain't really want to fight. You really not about that life, and that is okay. Live in your truth, but stop pumping up your chest, sir. And so then King said, this ain't what you want. He was like, if you want to do this, let's do it. The way that man got out that shirt real quick, I said, oh, he liked to fight. He know how to fight. That man took off that shirt, and then you see Quad run with her drinking hand in tow, just running. I said, she a runner. She a track star. She runs over there. King charges at Gregory. Gregory trying to run backwards. Then you see Sweettea take off, doing the same thing. She a runner. She a track star. I said, girl. And then the screen go black. Shenanigans, bro. Shenanigans. So this is editor Leah, and I forgot to say this. I got really annoyed seeing people say, this isn't Married to Medicine. They're doctors fighting. Do y'all not remember that the first season of Married to Medicine was Mariah and Toya fighting in ball gowns beside a pool? Mariah hit Toya upside the head with her purse. Toya grabbed Mariah by the hair. They drug each other to the ground beside the pool. And shouts out to James Caldwell. Shootfoot Lucy was popping Toya upside the head. Girl, this is Married to Medicine. Stop playing. That was shenanigans. Shenanigans. Like, honestly, oh my gosh. Again, I thought to a certain extent everybody was wrong. To a certain extent, everybody was wrong. Like, I was like, all of y'all, this is how we got that perfectly coiffed chaos. Because that's what that was. That's what that was. Like, chaos. And it was enjoyable. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. As always, remember to be bravely authentic. Definitely hop down in them comments below. Remember to like and subscribe. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.